Over the past few years, I've become much more intentional about how I nourish my body at the cellular level. What surprised me is how much of a difference this has made in how clearly I can think, how much energy I have, and how well I can stay grounded. As a physician, I've always understood that vitamins and minerals are important. But experiencing the difference in my own body has made me realize how much we underestimate the role of micronutrients in modern life. Our consciousness may expand, but the body still runs on biochemistry. Hi, my name is Elizabeth Hechavarria. I'm a medical doctor and an intuitive, and today I want to talk about my reflections and my experience with nutrient supplementation. So first, let's start off with our body at the cellular level. Every single cell in our body depends on micronutrients to function properly. It needs them for energy production, for detoxification, for communication between cells. All of these processes require vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and antioxidants. What are these things exactly? So a vitamin is a vital element that is needed to connect with proteins that your body makes on its own. The cells can make the proteins or the enzyme without the vitamin, but then once it connects with the vitamin, then it becomes an active enzyme. Without it, it can't do its work. So it's really critical that we get these nutrients through our food. And when we don't have these nutrients in our bodies, when we're running on empty, so to speak, that we're trying to recycle what we already have, well, the process becomes more and more inefficient. And that's when we get into problems with fatigue, with brain fog, and with reduced resilience. We get sick more often, right? So, yeah, ideally, we would be able to get all of this from our diet. And yeah, in maybe a really optimized diet, you could get that. But first, let's go over the fact that in our lives right now, how the type of lifestyle that we live, at least in the Western world, the level of stress that our body is experiencing is beyond anything that we've as a humanity have ever experienced before, at least in recorded history, at least that we're aware of, right? And so, for example, nowadays we have pollution. We have air pollution, we have water pollution, we have electromagnetic pollution. We have, because of a reduced electromagnetic field around the Earth, we actually have increased radiation from the sun and from the rest of the universe coming into our atmosphere and affecting our bodies. So all of these things are really um, pointing to the fact that we need to pay a special attention to how we nourish our bodies. And unfortunately, over the past 150 years, the soil, the quality of the soil on our earth has really been degraded. And part of this has been because we're using a lot of fertilizers to increase the amount of food that can be produced. This is a whole part of that agribusiness thing, and it's a whole other story. But um, yeah, the fertilizers make more food, but the quality of the food is actually decreased, meaning there are fewer vitamins and fewer minerals in, per gram of fruits and vegetables that you get from the ground than there were before. And the same, with the cow pasture. And of course, most cows are fed corn and other stuff that are mass produced. And so even the animals they have reduced nourishment capacity for us, right? They have don't get what they need, and therefore they cannot give us what we need if we're eating animal meat. And if we're not eating animal meat and we're just relying on vegetarian sources, then that makes it even harder still, because you need to just eat a lot of the highest quality food that you can find out there Maybe you grow your own food, and that's fantastic, but the majority of people can't actually grow their own food because they don't have a garden to do that in. But if you do, please do. Um, anyway, so yeah, soil depletion, chronic stress, and environmental stress toxins. These are the reasons why we need to pay even more attention to how we nourish our body. And so another topic that I'd like to touch on, because it has affected me, and I'm sure it affects many of you in my audience because, well, that's why you're in my audience. From a spiritual perspective or an energetic perspective, when you're opening up to greater energies from, yeah, from the unseen worlds, shall we say, uh, and you're getting these downloads, and you're feeling the increased amounts of energy going through you. Well, your body, right, your substrate needs to have the capacity to integrate all of those energies. And if you're running on empty, it's going to be a lot harder to integrate it. And that's when you can start having a lot of these, ascension symptom type manifestations where you get headaches, where you get brain fog, where you get like, these sensations of like tingling on your fingers and stuff like that, where it can be quite uncomfortable, or extreme fatigue, etc. And of course, you need to give yourself the rest that you need and stay grounded. But part of that staying grounded is also paying attention to how you nourish your cells. And yeah, no matter which way you slice it, while you're on Earth in this body, your body runs on biochemistry, and you need to provide it the capacity to process the intensity of all the energies that are coming through. And so, again, what you need: minerals, antioxidants, and mitochondrial nutrients. If you would like for me to go deeper into each one of these, just leave a message in the comments. I would be happy to tackle that in a future video. So finally, just to wrap everything up, when we're talking about, personal growth, spiritual development, healing, we often focus, appropriately so, on mind, on soul issues, right? Emotions, etc. And all of these things are very important. But we are in bodies, and we need to keep our bodies, the instrument through which we have these experiences, in top shape. So when we nourish our body deeply at the cellular level, we create the biological foundation for clarity, resilience, and transformation. If these reflections resonate with you and you'd like to explore your own health patterns more deeply, I offer one-on-one sessions, 90-minute foundational session and 60-minute integration sessions. I'd love to work with you. Follow the link in the description below. And if you liked this content and you have other ideas that you'd like me to explore, please leave a message in the comments, and like and subscribe. It helps to get the information out in the YouTube world, the whole algorithm thing. It would really help me. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you on my next video.